Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see I have the orange vest on again, which means it's a boat episode, or we're seeing a band that we saw on the boat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
You always fuck up this.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I try to make it, I don't know, whatever.
Make it fun?
Yeah, I try to make it fun. Whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh, earplugs still in my pocket. Anywho, the show we're talking about is Trivium with Bullet for My Valentine and Bleed From Within.
Yes, which is why you're wearing the vest.
Which is why I'm wearing the
they were
vest.
On 2023 Headbangers Boat.
Also, August Burns Red.
Oh shit, yes.
Don't even have it on our spreadsheet. We went this entire trip forgetting we were going to see August Burns Red.
I didn't even think that we were seeing August Burns Red, because even at the, like, right before going to the venue, we looked it up or something, or it was in like the announcement, like, of what time to get there, you know, like that whole email that comes out. And I was like,
doors were like 5:30, show at 6:30, and for 3 bands, that's super fucking early.
And then, but in that it said August Burns Red. I'm like, wait, when was that announced? And I look at the regular announcement. It's right above Bleed From Within.
So initially our thought was like, oh fuck, Bleed From Within didn't make it, so they had to get somebody to back up, like, so it was gonna be August Burns Red. But no, August Burns Red was always going to be there, and no, we both fucked that up.
Oh, I never had that thought.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You knew August Burns Red was going to be there?
No, I just explained exactly what I said. I never thought that Bleed From Within wasn't going to be there. I just was like, when was that announced?
Gotcha.
And looking at the original announcement, it's right above Bleed From Within.
But in any case, looking past the lineup and how we fucked that up, also, it was a choose your own adventure. And one of the reasons we chose this show was because of Bleed From Within.
That is one reason. And also, we had tickets for they're coming to Chicago, but we have tickets for another band on the night that they're in Chicago.
Right, which Paleface Swiss at Talia Hall, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be our first time at Talia Hall. So as soon as Paleface announced, I was like, I really want to go to that show.
Yeah.
And then it was, I think, afterwards that this show was announced. Like, fuck, I really want to go to that show too.
There's a lot that weekend, and we can't go to it because we already had Paleface tickets.
There's been a lot these last couple weeks here in early April that are just like a bunch of bands are coming through Chicago, and it's really hard.
Next weekend, we're out of town for a family trip, and there's a lot of bands coming next weekend too.
So the one we ended up going to, like we said, was the first one that Bleed From Within joined them, because before that it was Silosis, I think that's how you say their name.
Yeah.
So we saw the Saturday, April 19th show at Chesterfield, Misery.
Misery.
Or how she said it, how Karen said it.
Misery. Misery.
At the Factory. The tickets for this were $64.50 with $15.80 in fees.
Not bad, only 24% fees.
No, the last couple of shows have been pretty decent on the fee rate. I think a good 20 to 30% is like what I would consider good.
Good now.
yeah, basically, yeah, exactly. When you get into like above 30, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. But it could also be because it's in Missouri and not in Chicago.
True.
Because part of that is also Chicago entertainment tax and all that stuff, and it all depends on how they separate it out.
Yeah, I wonder how that would be here in Chicago. Anywho, this is we traveled down to Missouri. I kind of like doing the travel shows. It's a lot of fun just to go out and experience new areas and whatnot. And we'll talk about the venue here shortly. And also, I was just super excited to see Trivium. We haven't seen them in 2.5 years.
It's been a while, yeah.
I think one of our very first podcasts we ever recorded was for the Trivium show.
Did we actually record it?
We did actually record it.
Did we post it?
No, we did not.
Okay.
It was fucking garbage. Like I said, it was like one of the first ones we recorded.
I mean, this is still garbage.
Sure, we're a little better than we were back then, but that one was
really
much
bad.
worse.
Yeah.
And we watched it and we're like, nope, we're not posting this.
But that was the show that we found out about Whitechapel.
You knew about them. That's how I found out about Whitechapel.
I knew about Whitechapel, but I didn't know how much I would like Whitechapel.
Chemist was with them, and BT Bam was with them. And I remember not liking BT Bam.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But then we saw BT Bam last year.
Which is Between the Buried and Me.
Yes, sorry. And we saw them last year, and I loved their set, and I've loved their music ever since. No, I think I liked them. You did not like them.
I didn't
sort
like
of
them.
turned around a little bit.
I don't listen to them. I had to be honest, but it's not horrible.
I can't. We're a little all over the place already here at the beginning, so this is only going to get better. I don't know if we named the tour, but it was the Poisoned Ascendancy Tour. Both the Bolt for My Valentine and Trivium. It's like a co-headlining tour.
Yep.
So they both are celebrating 20-year anniversaries of these two albums, which were very big for them. So they're going on tour to celebrate, the 20th anniversary. Very similar to Lamb of God and Mastodon. They did the same thing with Ashes of Leviathan last year.
I don't think these albums came out on the same day.
No, I didn't know that about Ashes of Leviathan.
No, me neither. But I mean, maybe they did. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were both 20-year anniversaries.
So, I mean, let's get into the show a little bit. But before we do that, let's talk about Chesterfield and the factory. So we went down to St. Louis, stayed there. We had a couple days, about a day and a half really, to wander around St. Louis.
Yeah, like the night that we got there, and then
so we got there Friday night, and then we had all day Saturday, and then...
Well, the show was Saturday, so we had up until like 3 o'clock, and then we had to head over to Chesterfield.
That's fair. And then we drove home the very next day.
Yeah.
We did a vlog on us going to St. Louis for the Bloodywood show, which was literally drive down there, see the show, drive back the next day. We did a vlog for this one as well, which will be up in 4 years. We'll post that.
We're going to get better. I'm going to help you, and we're going to get better at it.
My goal is to have this one up sometime this year for sure.
Yeah.
But we drove down, we wandered around town, did a lot of cool things. There'll be some shit on the vlog about that we did, the metal brunch that we did, a record store. But yeah, a lot of fun down there just doing that. But then we headed over to Chesterfield, which is about, 30 minutes outside the city?
So we stayed at the ballpark, at the Hilton at the ballpark, because you've wanted to stay there for a long time. And there was no game, so rooms were okay pricing. So yeah, we stayed downtown, and then we drove out to Chesterfield, which was about 30-minute drive. Yeah, which kind of sucks, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean the drive wasn't too bad. It was not Chicago traffic by any means.
I mean that would have been an hour and a half drive in Chicago. So.
And we kind of expected the venue to be like the Sylvie in Madison, where it's sort of like very similar to House of Blues in Chicago, where you have sort of a lower down main floor, and then around the perimeter of the main floor, you have sort of a raised standing area that you can stand also. Right.
So Frozen Soul had just played there recently. I don't know when it was, but we didn't go to that show, obviously, but they posted pictures, and that's where I was like, oh, it looks like it is the same as the Sylvie, where you do have that like lower level thing. And at the Sylvie, which we were there to see Amon Marth, we weren't able to get onto the floor until Amon Marth because it was so packed.
Right.
Granted, we could have probably pushed our way onto the floor, but we've said it multiple times, we're not that kind of people. So we kind of thought like, oh, we need to make sure to get there early. And so we left about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I think by the time we got done doing our shit around downtown St. Louis, it was roughly 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And 2.5 hours before doors. So.
Yeah, but when we got there, the line was already...
There was already a big-ass line out the door.
Yeah, so...
Like 2 hours before doors open, and there's already this long line. Like, all right, fuck it.
So we decided to go get you some beers, and we got some food.
Got some hot dogs.
Steve's
Grill 'em All hot dogs.
You had a bratwurst, I had a grilled cheese.
Sure, yes. One of us had tube meats, the other one had grilled cheese.
So anyways, we did all that, and then we went over to the line, which only took like 12 minutes total to get in.
Getting through the line was super quick, and it was longer by the time we got there.
But it was,
before we get into the venue, I just want to talk about the little area they have built up. Like you described it, there's a big brewery and sort of food hall type thing going on. The St. Louis Blues are in the playoffs first round. It was the game one for them. So they had that on the TV. There was some baseball on the TV as well. Like
the Blues we didn't see any of that because it like started as we were like leaving,
True.
So.
They had started to turn over and do like the pregame shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is like it seems like a big community area for people to come and watch sports balls and people who are at the concerts to go do the concert things. There's a Top Golf right there as well. I heard somebody, I don't know where they were, either at the food hall or in the venue, talk about they drove to this venue as well and stayed at a hotel, but they stayed at the Hilton that was like right there by the factory.
Yeah, it's really close.
Which we could have done the same thing. I'm kind of glad we stayed downtown because there's not a whole lot outside of this thing.
Yeah, because I don't know if we would have drove downtown to like go to the brunch and all that stuff.
So like if you're into Topgolf and golfing and whatnot, cool, go do that in the morning, then go check out a venue. If you're driving into this venue is what I'm saying. But other than that, like I really liked how they built this up with all the amenities and all the food courts and the brewery and whatnot going on there. And then when doors open, we walked over there. It was like 12 minutes to walk right in, which was super fucking quick.
So there's 4 doors on each side. And so when the line goes in from the parking lot and basically it splits. And so it was like a choose your own adventure. Which way do you want to go? We always choose the wrong way, but it didn't seem that bad when we went. But so it just splits into 3 or 4 lines on each side. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
So there's either 6 or 8 lines that you go through the security and get your ticket scanned and all that stuff, which was very, very quick to get in. So.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about the parking. Like a lot of the places you go to, like you have to pay for parking, but because this complex is so big, we didn't have to buy parking. We just parked over by the brewery.
Yeah, even if you park by the venue, I don't think it's paid.
I don't think so either.
No, I think it's just like a mall parking lot basically.
But like you go out to Tinley Park here to the amphitheater owned by Live Nation, it's an additional $20-$40 charge to park, and you have to drive out there. There's no way you can get there. So like that's just Live Nation trying to fuck you over. Another reason I hate Live Nation, but this venue is just like, fuck it, here's parking, whatever, come hang out and watch music with us. So I thought that was really cool. So I just wanted to quickly bring up the parking because I thought that was kind of cool that I think about it, because we never drive to venues outside if we're going to like Tinley Park or whatnot. If we're in the city, we take transit and whatnot.
And I hate going to Tinley Park, so.
So we try not to go out there unless whatever. But then we're finally in the venue, and you're basically at the back of the venue. There's merch going on. I don't know if there were any bars.
So there's like an atrium thing. So in the atrium thing, there's the stairs that go upstairs, which seemed to be general admission and what it looked like. I mean, there wasn't somebody standing at the bottom, like asking for tickets. And then there is the merch stands. So there ended up being 3 merch stands. So one for Bullet for Your Valentine and Bullet for My Valentine?
Bullet for My Valentine.
I think I always say Bullet for Your Valentine.
I like that name better, honestly.
But so a stand for Bullet and Trivium, and then a stand for August Burns Red, and a stand for Bleed From Within. And then it also, I think there was like a ticket or like a customer service thing.
Okay, like a box office type thing?
Yeah, I don't know if it was really a box office because it's after the security, so I'm not sure how that all works.
Yeah, interesting.
We were on the opposite end that we went in, so we were on like the far end of that. I don't know what side that would be.
Basically, it ended up being stage left if you were at stage.
Yeah, like if you're at like stage left.
Because on the other side of this, basically this wall where the merch stand is and where you walk through this atrium area, if you walked straight through, if that wall wasn't there, you'd be staring straight at the stage. Which we walked around the corner and we walked in, and to my surprise, I was honestly a little frustrated knowing that it was going to be like the Sylvie with like that lower floor. I was like, fuck, I'm not going to like this. But we walk in and it's this massive open floor, and it was so fucking nice. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. I love this. With a few pillars around you toward the back of the floor holding up the
balcony.
The balcony. So like the pillars didn't take up that much room. And we've been to venues where like the pillars holding up the balcony can take up a lot of room.
Or like House of Blues where it blocks the whole thing. Yeah, it's just horrible.
I was actually just thinking like the outset, because that back part of that floor where the bar is because it's holding up the pillars for that second floor.
Yeah.
But this one was really well designed with it, like pretty much on the outskirts of the floor. And then where it would have been straight back from like center stage straight back is sort of, they did have a few sort of stepped up platforms where I think they had tables or at least standing ledges.
I think that those were tables, and I think that was like a VIP section because there was like a person like standing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just noticed the big ass bar that was in the back.
Oh yeah, there's a big bar.
So I assumed it was like you can just go up there to the bar and hang out up here if you wanted. But there were also like 2 smaller bars on either stage left, stage right, and then a couple people just like bar carts toward the back there as well.
Yeah. And there's also restrooms on both sides by those bars.
Yep.
So You called them twins, which kind of makes me laugh that night. But I would say they mirror each other.
Oh,
It's just a bar, and then restrooms.
Yeah, like a mirror, but like twin sides, basically.
Yeah.
Each side was set up the exact same.
Yeah. And then we didn't find them until the end of the night, but they do have free water fountains.
They do have free water fountains,
We have talked about this. I think the Salt Shed was the first venue we went to that had free water.
At least in a free water fountain. I've seen venues that have sort of it just hanging out.
Oh yeah, like just hanging out on
like
the bar.
Bottom Lounge is a good one where they have water stands at the on the bar.
Yeah, but I think with the I can't remember if we went to the Summit first in Denver and they had the water fountain, or if it was
oh yes,
the Salt Shed. But basically, we had a conversation like every venue should have free water.
I 100% agree. Water should be free at venues. If you want to buy the gourmet liquid death shit, then go ahead and buy that. But water should be free. Tap water should be free, and you can argue it is. You just got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I have done that several times.
Walking Metal Fest, that's what I do.
I take my empty beer cup and I go fill it up with water in the bathroom sink and then drink that. Like,
no, totally.
I'm not going to spend 10 fucking bucks on water. Sorry.
Right.
It should be free. So when they have those free water fountains that you're mentioning, like, we love those venues instantly.
Yeah. We like
for
that
the most
aspect.
part. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
We didn't go up to the balcony to check that out. It looked massive.
Yeah. It seemed really big, and it had stadium seating all the way around.
Yep.
So I did hear some people say that there's restrooms and bar up there. There's no lines up there.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, there's not that many people up there.
I thought like through the night I would look up there and it looked pretty packed up there.
No, yeah, it is. But like compared to all the people on the floor.
On the floor. Yeah. And you're not going to go from the floor up there type thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think some people did.
I mean,
between Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium, but
if I knew the bars are cheap, like not cheaper, but shorter lines up there, then I'd probably do that too. But the setup of this, for the most part, the I want to say the horseshoe aspect, where you walk in, you're in like the back of this sort of wall that loops around, and then you're basically looking straight onto the stage, reminded me a lot of Mission Ballroom in Denver, which I love. We've only been there once. I really, really want to try to make it back there.
I want to go back
that venue.
too. Yeah.
I just remember loving that venue when we first checked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything else about the venue that you can think of.
No, it was really cool. I do know. I did see like online, because I was like we were trying to figure out if it was owned by Live Nation or not, which I don't think it is, just from their online stuff. And it was built specifically to bring concerts to the area.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and it's kind of more, not upscale, I shouldn't say that, but more modernized, where like kind of like the Radius or like the outset that we just went to, where it is catering to like the modern venue, where a lot of places here in Chicago are old, and like what you're saying, like the pillars are in the middle of the venue and stuff like that. So they were able to build it specifically for a stage.
Yeah, and I like those venues that are built specifically for music in mind. Like, we're going to build this from the ground up with music in mind. And I guess the whole area, again, talking about just how it was completely built out, thinking about it now reminds me of Green Bay. We went to go see Wage War last year in Green Bay, and that was another venue that felt very built and designed for music, and I thought that was a really good venue as well.
Yeah, but that's like in a mall, because it's right next to a furniture store, so I don't think that was built out for the venue was built out, or
not the whole area.
The section was built out for a concert or a concert hall, but the whole area is not, because it's right next to a furniture store.
Yeah, and same thing with Mission Ballroom in Denver. That was a venue built specifically for music. Chicago, as you said, there's a lot of older buildings. Yeah. The Salt Shed is an interesting thing in and of itself, where, true, it is an old building, but they gutted that and they've redesigned that to fit for concerts and modern concert goers, which I think the Salt Shed did a really, really fantastic job of that.
No, I like it too. Yeah.
But House of Blues, like, that's a very old. It was originally designed for that, but that thing just gets oversold so often. It feels like
it's bad.
I hate House of Blues now. But enough about the venue. I mean, I did love the venue. It was so fucking good.
Yeah, I did too.
But let's get into the music a little bit, and let's start with Bleed From Within. One of the main reasons we went to this show. At least for me, one of the main reasons I wanted to go to this show.
Oh, I wanted to see Trivium, but yeah.
But why don't you start us off with the set list, which this is from Setlist FM. This was their first show they played on this tour, as we said earlier. So I don't know how accurate this is, but they said they only played 5 songs, which may be right.
I think that's right because they only played for like...
They didn't play long.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was so fast. But they played God Complex, Levitate, I Am Damnation, The End of All We Know, and then they ended with In Place of Your Halo. And we apologize. There's a train going by our house.
Hopefully we can't pick it up. But can you hear that when you edit?
Yes.
Can you?
You can hear it. So we waited a while and then we decided we just need to record. So
they're normally not this long or loud. Yeah.
So anyways.
Any hoodles. I'm super excited to see them. We saw them at Milwaukee Metal Fest last year. The first time we saw them was on the boat, hence the vest.
Yep.
And I saw them on the boat and I fucking loved it. I think the first stage I saw was the Magnum stage down there by the casino.
Yes, and they did the Slipknot cover.
They did the Slipknot cover, People Equal Shit.
Yeah, I was trying to think of it as People Equal Shit or what song it was, but even the night of Trivium, I was trying to think of if it was People Equal Shit.
And it was fucking packed in there. That stage on the boat is always fucking packed, always good energy there. So that sold me on them instantly, seeing them on that stage. And then we did the beer tasting with Randy and Ollie, the drummer from Bleed From Within.
Yeah, and then the whole band was like in the front row of that as well.
So like getting to see them in sort of the non-performer aspect of it and hearing jokes and just hearing them shoot the shit and whatnot was so much fun. When I can see or experience a band member sort of like that in sort of like just a genuine sort of way, not up there performing or whatnot, I end up loving the band or that member so much more long term.
Yeah.
So that's what really sold them to me. Was the whole boat experience. And I bring that up, and even Milwaukee Metal Fest, the performance at Milwaukee Metal Fest was fucking killer. I loved that show, that set so much. And I bring those up mainly because at the end of this set, I was like, that was fine. I didn't enjoy the set all that much. I was super excited for it. I mean, I enjoyed the set, don't get me wrong, but I was like, if this was my first time seeing them, would I be as high on them as I am now? And that's where I was at. Like, I remember it being so much better at Milwaukee Metal Fest and the boat. And part of it might be because it is such a short set. They only got like 20 minutes to perform.
Yeah, they didn't play very long.
Where those other sets, they got at least 40 or so. Yeah.
I guess I never had that thought. I guess I'm a little perplexed that you even said that, but because I thought like even the crowd was pretty filled in right before they went on, and I just felt like the crowd energy was so great. Their energy was so great. It just, I don't know. I guess I never had that thought, so that was kind of surprising that you just said that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like it wasn't bad or anything.
No, I know.
I'm just saying like
I know.
I remember having more fun at those other performances.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And not that I didn't have fun here. It's just more of like, okay, now I'm trying to think, not deeper or anything, but like just think, all right, if this had been my first show seeing them, what would my thoughts have been?
Okay.
And maybe it would have been just the same as well. But then seeing those other shows would have been like, oh my God, this was one of the best performances. And that's all I'm trying to say, really.
No, that's fine for you to have that thought. This is legit my reaction because we didn't talk about this at all. So, yeah.
And again, I wish they had played longer. I love these guys so much. So like, I wish we would have been able to see them at a longer set.
So I'm wondering if other shows, if they end up playing 30 minutes or 30, like, cause they played like 20 minutes or something like that. It was very, very short, but I wonder if they're going to play longer as the tour goes on. Because we did find out actually from August Burns Red that they literally flew in to the U.S. that morning.
Right.
And we've done that a couple times now where doing the Europe to the U.S., granted it's generally we're on vacation then we come home, but that's rough.
Yeah, it is rough, yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's like, okay, let's do 20 minutes.
Yep.
And then we're going to go to the bus and sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're doing or not. But
yeah, I don't know either.
They did not seem like they just got off a plane this morning.
No, they didn't.
That morning.
No, yeah.
So they didn't put out that energy. So that was really surprising to me because I'm like, holy shit, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be sleeping.
They must have slept much better on the plane than we do.
I don't know. Or it's like they're just, we got to do what we got to do sort of thing.
Which again, this like the short set kind of also leads to why do we need necessarily 4 bands every show we're going to?
I know.
Let's go down to 3 again, and let's give the opener a little bit more of a time slot.
Yeah. We didn't record an episode on it, but we went to see Signs of the Swarm, and they were playing with like Chelsea Grin and Shadow Intent and I can't remember the first band.
I know it. Oh no, I don't know it. Dismay-bodied Tyrant.
Disembodied Tyrant. Yeah.
That's the word, not dismay. Disembodied.
Yeah. You like kind
I
of
split the words. Yeah,
you did. You split that. But anyways, when Signs of the Swarm went on, they were the second opener, and I think they only played for like 25 minutes as well. And when they were like, "This is our last song," I remember like looking at my watch and looking at you like, "What the fuck?" Like.
And so maybe that's my thought is like I wish they had played longer, and not that like oh my god if this had been my first time seeing them. More of like, fuck, I wish we got more of them.
Yeah.
Because just the energy and whatnot at Milwaukee Metal Fest seems so much more to me. But I think I also walked into that set halfway through, so I missed a good couple songs of that as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think if Chesterfield was the first time that I had seen them, I would enjoy, like, be a fan just off of that performance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
And
so.
I'm not.
No.
And I'm not saying I'm not a fan. It's just like, looking back on it, what would my thought have been? That's all I'm trying to. I don't know what I'm trying to do.
I understand your thought, and I've already said this. That was my genuine reaction because we hadn't talked about this.
I know. Anywho, moving on to August Burns Red, or I guess before we're doing that, going back to also the choose your own adventure aspect of this show, and like Silosis being the first part or the first opening band of the first part of this tour or whatnot. We did meet a few people in Milwaukee just walking around wearing metal shirts, and
we were in St. Louis.
Oh shit, that's sorry. We always go to Milwaukee, so I just assume when we travel it's to Milwaukee. In St. Louis, just walking around wearing metal shirts, people are like, "Oh shit, nice shirt." And I think it was like a Meshuggah shirt once. Somebody's like, "Oh, Meshuggah, I was just at that show."
Yeah, because Meshuggah was in St. Louis on like April 2nd, and we saw them April 1st.
Right. So like just a few weeks before this, and like, "Oh yeah, we're in town to see Trivium." They're like, "Oh, I wanted to go to that show, but Silosis isn't there," or whatever the band. I hope I'm saying that right.
I think so.
And I was like, "Oh, that is kind of a bummer with these choose your own adventure type shows. That if there is a band you really want to see that can't make it, you either have to travel or you're not going to see them type thing, which kind of sucks. But I also would rather have, Bleed From Within join and continue the tour going on instead of just doing like a 2-week tour type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I just wanted to make that one comment. That was kind of cool, just running into random people, just being like, "Hey, nice shirt. What show are you going to go see?" type thing, and just having those conversations. That was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get into August Burns Red. Why don't you read off their set list for us?
So they started with a System of a Down cover, Chop Suey, Paramount, Composure, Defender, Bloodletter, Vengeance, Exhumed, Mariana's Trench. They ended with Whitewashed. So, starting with Chop Suey.
Yeah, so that was the intro track before they even took the stage. And I was like, that's kind of weird to start with a cover song, like an intro to a cover song. But then I was like, but also not. Metallica does it. Like, it's a long way to the rock.
Like, that didn't bother me, the whole, like, intro track thing.
No, but I thought that's what it was.
That's what I thought, too.
Is that it was like Metallica plays Long Way to the Top. Like, that's the first song you hear. That's how you know the show's starting. Is that how August Burns Red is? Like, it's always Chop Suey. Not knowing or forgetting even that they did a Chop Suey cover. And they're going straight into their cover song, which then kind of gets into like, wow, you started with a cover song. That's kind of weird.
That was my thought. And maybe that's how they like start their concert. I don't know. Have we ever seen them?
We've never seen them.
I didn't think so. Like, I didn't know if they were like at not Milwaukee Metal Fest, Chicago Open Air or something like that. And maybe they were.
Maybe. I don't ever remember seeing these guys.
And August Burns Red is always on playlists I listen to, but I had to be honest, sometimes I just skip them.
I listen to a lot of August Burns Red, honestly. but always in the month of December and always their Christmas music.
Oh,
They're like a prominent
yeah,
staple on our metal Christmas playlist.
Yeah.
And they even do like a Christmas Burns Red Festival every year that someday I hope we can make it out to. Out in Philadelphia, I think they do it.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because that's where they're from.
Near Philly, I guess. I don't know.
Is that near Philly?
Fuck if I know. It's in the same state, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Then I'm good there. Geography is not my strong suit, amongst other subjects.
But no, when they start with a cover, I'm just like, do they not have a catalog that they can play for 35 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever they get? That was my first thought. But leaving the show, I heard a lot of people be like, oh shit, you were like, when they came out to Chop Suey, like everybody was so excited about it. And I'm just like, okay, like maybe it's a different, like, it was just my thought of like, why are you starting with this cover?
It's a damn good song, and to come out there, like, and
how they did it was really, really cool. Like, because I mean, it was just the intro track, and then they like came out and like continued playing and finishing the song, and obviously the whole crowd was into it. It is a good way to get the crowd into your set, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess it's like that. You go into it and then like wake up.
Yeah.
Why don't you like a little makeup?
Yeah.
Like so, like if you come out to like that and sing the wake up, like this is one of the reasons I love Memento Mori as like an opening track, like because of the meaning of the song and like the double meaning of it potentially, like especially at a live show of wake up, like it's a good way to start. And if I had known or again remembered they did Chop Suey and knew their catalog more in depth, I think I would have been super stoked to see that. I definitely agree with you. It is kind of weird to go into it like that. I feel like it would have been closer to the bottom of the set, the second to the end, or even the last song potentially. But your very first song, it's an interesting choice. I did like it, but it was fun. Yeah,
I mean, I guess it's just like the the choice that the band made or makes or whatever. Like we've talked about that before, like how to do the set list, but especially as an opener, I guess it is. I mean, like I just said, like it does get people into your set. Like if they don't know you, or if like some people were there to see August Burn Red, but generally people are not there for openers.
Typically not. No. Yeah. I thought their set was great. The energy level was fucking phenomenal. The energy that Bleed From Within had, they continued here. I remember having a blast. One thing, I'm sitting here playing with these earplugs that were in my pocket here still. I think it was during Bleed From Within I took these out. So I don't typically wear these foam ones. I have like the O-ring ones, or what are they called? Just ring?
Yeah, they just called ring.
I don't know. Whatever. I forgot to bring those with me, so we had these in the car, so I wore these. The sound was very, very damp and not good, so I took them out. And honestly, the sound in that venue without earplugs, I thought was great. It wasn't overpowering. It wasn't too loud. I thought it was great. Typically, I would say always wear earplugs. If I had the O ones, I probably would have worn those, honestly, and would have been fine. But these ones were a little too much for me at that time. So even these guys, and all through the night, like every band sounded fucking phenomenal in that venue. That's like another positive for the venue and for all these bands. Just like they all sounded so fucking good.
Yeah. I remember during Bleed From Within, you like kind of pointed at your ears like, but you didn't have them in or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, oh, because I never wear. I mean, I only wear them on Walking Metal Fest, and then I wore them at like Denver, because when you're inside for that long, like with music, I just can't do it. But I just don't like earplugs, so I try not to wear them. But they didn't play any Christmas songs.
No Christmas songs. Honestly, I was kind of sort of hoping they would do one. They do like the Mariah Carey song that everybody hates. They do a cover of that.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
I really like their Christmas music. I want to go to Christmas Burns Red so bad sometime, and I hope that's all they do is Christmas songs. I fucking love Christmas songs, all right? Like, I don't care. I love them.
And we found a lot of metal bands that do Christmas songs, so it's really fun. Like, we listen to them a lot, so.
So, again, we completely didn't realize we were seeing this band. No. So when we got...
like that day,
when we did see them, it was like, oh, this is just, the cherry on top type thing. Although looking back on it, either don't have the fourth band or give everybody just a little bit more time. I don't know. Yeah.
No,
but they did play a little bit longer, 9 tracks. So
they did, yeah. I just really wish we would have gotten like 6 or 7 tracks from Bleed From Within.
Yeah.
So, but
take 1 or 2 from these guys and give them to Bleed From Within, maybe. I don't know. But all in all, super great set. The sound, as I said, was phenomenal. The crowd was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
The band was phenomenal, like putting on such a great fucking show as well.
Yep.
And the energy continued to roll over to the next band, which there was some debate in between on the changeover of who was the headliner. I was pretty fucking positive it was Trivium. And then I realized, oh wait, no, this is a co-headlining tour probably, because, you know, they're at the same level on the poster and whatnot. So yeah, it might be every other night. And I think you were pretty positive that it was Bullet for My Valentine.
No, I thought it was Trivium next because
that's what I'm saying.
Both
that Bullet for My Valentine was the headliner.
Yeah, so I thought Trivium was next on the bill because both Bleed Within said Trivium's name first, like thank you, or like give it up for Trivium, give it up for Bullet for My Valentine, and then August Burns Red did the same thing, and so in my mind it was we're gonna see Trivium next and then Bullet for My Valentine.
Gotcha. Okay, and I know you and I were going back and forth like. No, it's Trivium as the headliner. And again, I sort of like started to believe you. Like, fuck, you might be right. So I'm very introverted. I don't talk to people. But I decided this was a good reason to talk to people and started asking people around me, like, who's headlining? Who's next? And everybody I talked to, oh, it's Trivium. Trivium's next. Bullet's going to headline. Oh, Trivium's next. Bullet's going to headline. I was like, fuck, they might be right. You might be right. Fuck, I don't,
No,
it's going to be fine. You didn't
say it that way. You were like, fuck.
I was upset. I really was. Don't get me wrong. I like Bullet, but I like Trivium a little bit better. And curtain doesn't drop. There wasn't a curtain, but the band comes out and starts playing. And yes, it was Bullet for My Valentine next.
Well, they don't even start playing. So it starts with like a video of the history or like from their first album, their first tour or whatever they're doing, like a whole bunch of video from that.
Okay.
And you might not have noticed that as much because we started talking to somebody from Arkansas, I think.
Yeah, who drove up and there was like their son's first.
No, that was another guy.
Okay.
Sorry, but both guys were from Arkansas. But the one that you were talking to, his son was like in the back and he was like, oh, I don't want to come forward or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyways, so you guys were still talking while it started.
I was going to say, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So,
and I kept trying to like kind of tap you like, hey,
pay attention.
Like it's starting, like stop talking. Cause we have a huge thing on like, don't talk while things are happening.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, a lot of people are here to see Bullet for My Valentine. And they probably want to see this, and if you're talking, then they can't see it, you know.
Yeah, I do hate when people do that, and I didn't notice I was doing it. I just ran into this guy and started chatting with him and telling like stories and whatnot. So apologize to anybody around me who may have been distracted. I fucking hate when people do that, and I didn't realize I was doing it.
I should have turned around and been like, shut the fuck up.
You should have. Because even you just said like they had a video up, then it's like, I'm going to take your word for it because I don't remember shit about a video.
Yeah. So I mean, basically it was like what a lot of bands have been doing recently because we're at that age of all the bands that we started listening to are at their 25th.
Yeah, 30th. For us, this is the golden era for reunion tours, for anniversary tours, because when we got into metal, this is the metal, like 20 years ago, like this shit is going, like Ashes of Leviathan, they just did their tour. This tour, Slipknot, Disturbed, like hopefully Shadows Fall comes back and does like an anniversary tour. I fucking love Shadows Fall. So, you know, all those bands we grew up listening to are going to start doing this hopefully. So again, this was a 20th anniversary tour for Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine. Yeah. But we haven't talked about their set list yet, have we?
So this is basically Poison in full, right?
So,
or is it not?
Yes, almost. There's a couple tracks that aren't on here that Poison had when I was putting these on.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize it was Poison in full until I put these on to
the set list. When they played, what's the end of the Poison?
The end.
The end is the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So they did say like, this is the last song of Poison or whatever.
Okay.
Like, so the
Well,
band
I know
said
he
that.
has said there multiple times, like, this is a big tour for us because 20 years ago for us, also for Trivium, 20 years was awesome, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of that. Nowhere on the poster or nowhere on anything that I saw or looked at, maybe there was, I just didn't look close enough, of it being a big, we're going to play our albums in full. When Ash of the Leviathan came out, both bands were like, we're playing our album in full. And that was like a big promoter for it. I didn't see that same promotional aspect of this tour. So when I was putting these on the playlist this morning, going through the set list and adding to our playlist, I was like, holy fuck, this is just the album in full. Was Trivium the same way? And sure enough, it was.
Yeah, I figured it was. I too did not know going into it that it was the album in full. So you're saying that Poison has more songs than what's on here?
Just like 2 or 3. I don't know if that's like just an intro or if like Hand of Blood is always played when they do a tour now, where it's always Hand of Blood in room 409. Because like now that I'm talking about it, I kind of remember that from the show we saw with them.
Oh, really?
Is that people knew that it was going to be this song.
Oh, those two. Yeah, when we saw Asking Alexandria. Then.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's the way it is here.
So I just looked up the album because unfortunately I don't know Bullet for My Valentine's album or whatever. So basically, did we go through the songs yet?
We have not gone through their songs yet. We were about to, and then we're like, well, this is just the album, right?
Okay, let me read the songs really quick. So they start with Her Voice Resides, 4 Words to Choke Upon, Tears Don't Fall, Suffocating Under Words of Sorrow, What Can I Do, Hit the Floor, All Things I Hate Revolve Around Me, Hand of Blood, Room 409, The Poison, 10 Years Today, Cries in Vain, The End. And then they had an encore. Yes, they had an encore, even though they weren't the last band, of Knives and Waking the Demon.
Yeah, they weren't the last band, but again, co-headlining tour. So you get that right with the co-headlining spot.
So I looked up the album. I got to look at it again.
Well, one of it was Hand of Blood in room 409. So Hand of Blood is not on the album, but room 409. And we were talking amongst ourselves. We saw Bullet for My Valentine last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I can't remember with who, but...
Asking Alexandria.
Was it Asking Alexandria?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
No, that was the Who, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we did see them, though.
We saw them a couple years ago. And there was one point I'm kind of sort of remembering now where they played a song and then everybody knew the very next song. There's like a good call and repeat sort of thing that happened, if I remember correctly. And we were like, oh, that was really cool. I wish I knew about that. I'm thinking now it was Hand of Blood in room 409. Maybe. I could be completely wrong there.
That makes sense, though.
But that would explain why you would throw that into the middle of the album show when it's not on the album.
It was Bullet for My Valentine, Of Mice and Men, and Vended.
Oh, Vended, right. Yeah. We just did a show about Vended.
We did.
And how we've seen them so many times. And I completely forgot we saw them at that show.
Yeah. Also, the album has Spit You Out that they did not play.
Just before the end, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So, but anyways, I figured that they were playing the album in full as it was going on because it seemed like everybody knew what was coming next.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
At least people around us did.
Maybe. All right. I could, I can see that. I don't know Bullet for My Valentine's music that well. Tears Don't Fall, I definitely know.
Yeah, that's the only song of the whole night that I knew.
There's a couple of songs. I know Your Betrayal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know more songs, but they only played Tears Don't Fall that I know, yeah.
And when they did play Tears Don't Fall, I was like, that seems super early for this song.
Yeah.
But I had no idea it was the album in full. I knew it was like the 20th anniversary show. I just chalked it up to, I don't know their music that well.
Yeah,
so maybe it's like 3 Days Grace where they had the same intro they always say. Like, this would be a great place to make a home, right? Oh my God, we're going into home. Let's go. Oh, I wonder what's going to be next. You know, it's a really hard climb up that mountain. Like, oh my God, we're going to do the mountain now. You know, like, fans know what the next song is going to be based on what you say on stage. So I chalked it up to that. I had fun during their set, don't get me wrong. A lot of the music I did not know. A Bullet for My Valentine's a band I enjoy, but I've never really gotten into.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bands like that for us. Seven Dust was one of them as well.
Seven Dust as well, yeah. I think with Bullet for My Valentine, there are like 4 or 5 songs that I know, like you were saying. And we did watch some on YouTube a couple nights ago, and I'm like, oh, I know this song. I know. I mean, it's like that sort of thing. But from an album in full, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the crowd. I think during Bullet, there was 2 pits open, if I remember right. Or was there just one? Was it Trivium that there was 2?
Probably with Bullet, honestly.
I mean, it was...
Because by the time Trivium goes on, it did feel like the crowd thinned out quite a bit. Yeah. So, like, there was a very good crowd here for Bullet. Yeah. And it was good energy in the crowd. Lots of crowd surfing.
Thanks to you and the other guy lifting everybody up.
So I was going to bring that up. I like crowd surfers. I like holding them up and carrying them forward and whatnot. I typically will. It takes my mind, not my mind, but it takes me away from watching the stage, which isn't necessarily the greatest. But I'm always looking behind me, like, all right, are they coming? Are they coming? Oh, they are. Hey, look up. Like, I'm always tapping around my shoulder if I see somebody. Like, hey, be on the heads up. And people around me probably hate me because I'm like, hey, look up. It's like they're 10 feet that way. There's no way they're coming near us. But you're like, I just want people to be ready because I've been kicked in the back of the head a few times from crowd surfers, and it's not pleasant. So I'm always on the lookout, right? I've had to pick people up a few times, and I'm not good at that. I don't know how the fuck to do that. I like put my hands together like this little cradle thing. I'm like, here, put your foot in here and let's go. Let's like just climb on up. I have never known how to easily pick somebody up and get them up in the air to go crowd surfing. I learned at this show because of the other guys around me who were wanting me to help them. Basically you get 3 to 4 guys or people, 1 on either shoulder and 2 on the legs or 1 on the legs. And then it's like a trust fall. Like, all right, fall backwards. And me and the other guy on the shoulder will grab them. You fall backwards. The other people pick your legs up. And now you're vertical. And like, all right, let's go. So fucking simple. I always like strain myself trying to like lift everybody up and whatnot. No, just do the trust fall thing and boop. Yeah. There was one point a kid wanted to go up. And right when he's like, hey, let me go up. And we're like, oh yeah, let's go. And the song stops. so like, the guy's like, no, you don't want to go up now. There's no song going on. Like, it's pointless. And then we just like shoot the shit for like, so how's your day been? Weather been treating you pretty? Like the old man sort of like chatting at the water cooler type
just
thing.
Waiting.
Yeah, it's like we don't have anything. Like it was sort of the dullest, dumbest fucking conversation you could have. While we waited for a minute or two while they did their little bullshit talking to the crowd, which again I love when they do the crowd banter and whatnot. But like, all right, we need to just kill some time. Oh, cool. This track kicked in. All right, let's go now. Throw them up over. So I don't know. That was fun. I learned how to do that for the first time ever, which I did not know. So,
well, maybe you were always tapping me on the back because you didn't want me to get kicked in the head, which thank you if that was the reason. But most of the time you tap me on the back and then I like try to help, but you guys have him I'm saying him because there's only a few women, but like have them so high up. My hand, like even me reaching my hand up, I can't even touch them.
So yeah, the other part of it is I tap the person nearest me. It's like, hey, there's people up, and I assume it's like a chain. Like they'll tap the next person, and then the next, and the next.
The tall guys in front of me.
So it was more of like, hey, be aware this is coming. Let other people know type thing.
I just kind of laughed by the end. I just stopped trying to even try to help because by the end I'm just like, my hand can't even reach this person because you guys are so tall that they're taller than me. But
that was fun. I had a blast doing that all night. Yeah. There was like one time I accidentally almost flipped somebody completely over.
That was kind of funny. You guys flipped too fast.
Yes. Yeah. We got in the rhythm, like, oh, we just need to do. And the next thing you know, the person's like 180.
Yeah. I think people kind of figured out like to go to you guys you guys were like lifting people up constantly all night, but also going to you guys because otherwise if they started to like the right of me, basically they got thrown into the pit.
Oh yeah.
So if they were on the left of me, then it was okay. There's a crowd all the way.
We were on that side of the pit, so we weren't going. You weren't going to go straight into the pit. Yeah.
So, anyways, no, I thought it was a lot of fun. I like being at those venues that are large enough that you can crowd surf like that, or like people can, and have like large pits and everything like that. Otherwise, I mean, I go back to House of Blues all the time. Like if you crowd surf, you're going 5 people. Unless you start at the stairs.
Yeah.
And then generally the pit is taking up the other half of the floor. So.
The floor is massive, so plenty of room for you to crowd surf. That's what you wanted to do, for sure.
Yeah. No, I like these larger venues like that.
And I guess anything else for Bullet other than...
No, by the end of, I mean, I was having fun just watching the crowd and like, doing that whole thing. Cause by the end, I'm just like, okay, I'm done with that. I just don't know their music that much. And to me, it's radio metal. So and I do what I do with any radio metal that I don't know the word. Like 3 Days Grace, I can sing every single song. So it's a lot of fun. I like get into it and all that stuff. But with like, I'm going to say Shine Down, Seven Dust, Chevelle, like those bands, I just don't know their music that well. So by the end, I'm just like paying more attention to what's going on around me than the stage.
And so I think that's true with me too, especially with this night. Like I don't genuinely know or remember a whole lot about Bullet's set. I remember having fun, but I remember having fun in the crowd more than anything. Yeah. And they enjoying that line. So much more.
They stand in a line like Breaking Benjamin. That's one thing I realized. But they all have vocal parts, so they all are playing guitar and bass, and they have the microphone in front of them. Okay. So I think that's the difference, because we talked about like Meshuggah stands in a line, but their whole thing is like the technical aspect and the show and all that stuff.
The lights and whatnot also play big with Meshuggah for sure. Yeah.
And then, but I mean, a lot of bands that we see, like everybody's just all over the fucking stage. And when bands just like stay in a line, it's kind of boring.
It can be, yeah, for sure.
So,
but yeah, I had fun. I enjoyed their set, but I enjoyed the crowd and lifting people up and that aspect of it so much more. And I will remember that this show for that, not necessarily for their performance.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I had a blast because of the crowd. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And the music was great too. Don't get me wrong. The music was great all night long, but the crowd is what really made this show for me.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to go into Trivium now. And I don't remember when all these conversations happened. I remember having a lot of conversations with a lot of different people, but there was definitely one conversation we had with a father and his son, and they drove up as well, either from Arkansas or Texas. I can't remember where they. No, I think Arkansas. Yeah, because they either could go 4 hours to Missouri or like 4 hours to Dallas or something like that.
So that was the guy that was between August Burns Red.
And,
Bullet for My Valentine, because I think I'm trying to think of who was. So Trivium was in St. Louis, and I can't remember who was in Dallas that he wanted to see.
Okay.
Machine Head. Was that who was in?
Yes, Machine Head. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Because we're going to miss that show too. We're going to be like away or at a different show or something.
No, we're going to be on a family trip. So
that's going to really suck. I really want to see
That's what I'm saying. Like that weekend that we're on our family trip has a lot of good shows coming.
Yeah. But talking with that guy, it was like his son's 18th birthday and first concert ever. And it was like, are you having fun? He's like, I'm having a fucking blast. Yeah. This is so much fun. And we were talking to him, it was like, we drove down from Chicago, and what you see here is what you get in Chicago, is what you get in Milwaukee, is what you get in Des Moines, what you get in Arkansas, wherever the fuck you go. This is the community you're going to get, like, with the metal and
just basically starting it with like, we're families, so don't. He did seem a little timid or something like that, but it's like, just we're all family. We're there to help you out, sort of thing. Like, that's a weird way to say it, but
I mean, I get where he's coming from. Yeah. Like, I went to my first show when I was like 16 or 17, and it scared the fuck out of me. Yeah. Like, being on the floor for Lamb of God doing a Wall of Death, I was like, I'm gonna fucking die tonight, and I still have to drive home. Like, I have glasses. I wear physical glasses, and they're gonna break. So if I don't die here tonight, I'm gonna get in a car accident on the way home because I can't fucking see shit. Which a deer did hit me. I didn't hit the deer. The deer ran into me that night. I'm pretty sure it was that night.
Is that the night that it happened?
I'm pretty sure.
I remember that, like, the whole side of your car. Like, I just remember that.
Just driving down Highway 6, and then here's a deer just running straight into the side of my car. Like, fuck that.
Well, you had 2 deers hit you, because even in your passport, you had a deer hit you.
I don't remember that.
But, like, the Taurus is the one that you, like, fucked up the whole front.
Yeah.
Anyways, this isn't about deer.
But again, like, just this random conversation that happened in between bands. Again, this is what I'm going to remember this show for, and love this show so much afterwards, is because of those interactions I had with the crowd. Again, the music was great, and we got more great music with Trivium. And why don't you read off their set list? Hint, is going to be an album.
They start with Rain, Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr, Drowned and Torn
Asunder.
Ascendancy. Then there was an awesome drum solo while the thing like blew up in the back. A gunshot to the head of Trepidation. Light to the Flies. Dying in Your Arms. The Deceived. Suffocating Sight. Departure. And then they ended with Decoration. They had an encore of In Waves.
I know going into the show, I was talking to you, I think it was. I was being like, I really hope we hear Strife. I don't think I've ever heard Strife played live by Trivium. It's one of my favorite Trivium songs. So I was going into this like, God, I hope they fucking play that. And as the night went on, they kept playing songs and they were great songs. I don't remember many of the songs in terms of like, I didn't know many of the songs. Like,
oh no, yeah.
This is a Trivium song I don't think I've heard. This is a Trivium song I don't think I've heard. I like Trivium on like a shuffle aspect or a live aspect, not necessarily an album aspect. I don't listen to their albums in full ever, really.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And I probably listen to the top Spotify songs. It's probably the top 6 songs. And then I move on to something else.
Well, I remember
which is so horrible.
Yeah, it is. I'm the same way. But I remember you messaging me like 3 days before this happened. Yeah. You're like, I'm so excited for this week, and I'm listening to Trivium right now, just their top songs on Spotify. And I finished the second song, and even before it started, I'm singing In Waves. Yeah. And like it just happened to be In Waves. It
was the next song, yeah.
And I was like, God, I can't fucking wait for this. We haven't seen Trivium in like 2 fucking years. I'm so ready for this. This is going to be such a great fucking time. And it was a great time.
It was a really good time. And I like listening to Trivium's. I like their performances. I like listening to them, everything. Just the album that they played, I don't know. That's all I got to say is I just don't know it.
I know the album cover. Like I have seen this album so many times, and it's very iconic. Whenever I see the album, I'm like, oh, that's Trivium. I know exactly who that is. I know what band that is. Tell me to name the songs off the album.
Right.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There's not very many bands I can do that. So no. I can't, like that's no.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. They're the big ones for me. Metallica, Slipknot, Rammstein are like the ones that I could do that for.
Name some songs at least.
Not even Lamb of God. I can tell you a couple of songs and what albums they came from, but I can't tell you all the tracks on it.
Disturbed, I'm pretty good with.
Disturbed, I guess. No, not me. The first like 2-3 albums that I'm done.
That's true. Like I know the big songs off of most of the albums, but then after that, like I don't know them.
My other big band that I love, Amon Amarth. I can't tell you many songs off of albums. I can tell you song names, but you tell me what album that come off of, like, I don't fucking know.
Right. Yeah.
The Way of Viking.
I'm the same way. Yeah. But even with these songs, I'm like, I guess I need to dig deeper into Trivium's catalog because I didn't know any of them until In Waves.
Get to the end of the set and they don't play In Waves or The Heart From Your Hate. A World So Cold, like these are tracks that I would expect, right?
Or Strife.
Strife. I want to hear that so bad.
As soon as In Waves ended, you didn't even catch on to what I was doing, but as soon as In Waves ended and they were like it was over, I started singing Strife to you, and you did not catch on to what I was doing.
So I think I may not have, but before In Waves, I knew they were doing an encore, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this album has a Master of Puppets cover.
Oh, does it really?
So it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty fucking positive they do a Master of Puppets cover. And I was like, oh shit. So that's going to be the closing track is Master of Puppets, which is pretty fucking awesome because on this same night was Syracuse, Metallica's first show of M72 2025, which we know a guy who's going to that show. And
yeah.
We were driving out there and I was like, I am really super excited for this show, but I'm also kind of upset we're not at Syracuse for the Metallica show.
You did say that. And I didn't realize that when you were, or when going into this, but you did mention, like right before the show is you're like, I'm glad we're seeing Trivium, but I wish we were in New York.
And not even that, just like, we're not going to see Metallica this year at all. And I don't know. It's a little disappointing to me. Not disappointing, a little, not even upsetting. Just like, we saw him twice, 4 times fucking last year.
We
So
did, yeah.
like whatever, we missed 1 year. Maybe we'll see him next year. Maybe not. Maybe we never see him again. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I would like to see them again, but you know what? We haven't seen Trivium in 2 fucking years, so I'm glad we got to see Trivium.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't do Strife.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't do Strife.
Maybe next time.
God damn it. I fucking hope so. I did love, and it did make me smile when Matt gets up there and he's like, let me say this right now for you, Chesterfield. I don't know what fucking city he picked, but he picked some random ass city.
Houston's
Was
what
it
he
Houston?
said. Yeah.
Houston has had the best show so far of this tour. Let me say that again. Houston is better than you. Like that is his thing. He does it every show.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing of like 3 Days Grace and Home. Like, you know, he's going to do it. To me, the fun is guessing the city he's going to say. I really hope we're not going to be here in Chicago. I really hope that he says Chesterfield when he gets to Chicago. And then I hope he says Chicago for the rest of the fucking tour, honestly. I wish I could follow this band around just for that moment of what city did he pick tonight.
Would you scream it out?
If I knew what it was going to be.
Like if you're in Chesterfield and you knew like he's been saying Houston for the whole week, would you be like, fucking Houston?
Maybe, honestly. I don't know. That'd be a fun little name game thing. I didn't know the tour that well to like be able to pick out what it was.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be fun. I bet it just fucking changes wherever he goes.
Probably.
And it's more of like what the rivalry might be between those 2 cities.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. I could see if he had gone to if they had gone to Chicago already, then
it would probably be Chicago.
That's why I think it's going to be Chesterfield for Chicago, because, you know, St. Louis Cardinals Cubs type thing. That's what I would do, honestly, is I would like pick up the rivalries and whatnot. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
the crowd was pretty awesome. So
crowd was fucking phenomenal. More crowd surfing.
And now that I think about it, Trivium may have had the 2 pits open.
Okay.
I can't. And maybe there was another pit on the other side that we didn't even see.
Yeah.
I mean, we were pretty much middle.
This venue is fucking large.
Yeah.
Like the floor is huge and I love it. The sound was great. I love the venue. I don't know. There's so much great things about this night that we're just
I wish
like,
it wasn't
fuck.
5 hours away because it would be nice to go see again.
For sure. But, you know, I'll keep this on the radar. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
And
I already said, like, when we come back in 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
and there's an Amtrak.
there is an Amtrak, which we'll probably do next time.
We just found this out not too long ago before we had already booked everything and had made plans to drive down. There's an Amtrak from Chicago down there. So we could look at the Amtrak and see what that's doing. So it would be an Uber ride out to this venue, but potentially just stay out there at the hotel at that.
Yeah, we could potentially just
area.
stay out there. Yeah.
There was a pizza restaurant we didn't go to. If it's nice and warm, it was kind of chilly this time.
Yeah, it rained, yeah.
We could even do Top Golf for the first time. We've never done Top Golf. That'd be a fun half-day activity.
For you to throw out your back before the concert?
Yeah, that would fucking suck. and definitely happen.
It would happen.
But it'd be fun. I don't know. I love this venue. I love this tour.
I'm glad that we got to see this tour because I was worried that we weren't going to see it when they first announced because we already had Paleface tickets when they announced it. And I think I was like, well, we have nothing the weekend before, so let's go to St. Louis.
When it was announced, I did come out of my office and sat next to you at work. I think you just got done with the meeting or something, and we just sat there and like we looked at the schedule. Like, well, there's this date, there's this date, there's this date we could try to make.
And we don't have very much. We just have things going on this year, so I don't have very much vacation time to use. So it was definitely like it needs to be a weekend. It needs, like all that stuff, so that.
And we drove down on Friday. Good Friday, which for some fucked up reason I get off for work. I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was a free day off of work that I didn't have to take vacation, but whatever. Yeah, like it worked out pretty well.
It did, yeah.
St. Louis isn't that bad of a drive. Coming home was super quick. It felt like.
Oh, coming home was way quicker than going down there.
And somehow we fucked up traffic just right because when we left, traffic getting into the city was horrible. And when we came back, traffic getting out of the city was garbage.
Yeah. So we were kind of lucky that
it worked
we
out.
didn't have to worry about it either way of those.
But you know what? You never have to worry about traffic on an Amtrak. So
no, exactly.
Just hop on the Amtrak, then take your quick little Uber ride over and then.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that and maybe just do an Uber to like Chesterfield and then like stay in that little area.
And just hang out at the hotel. Maybe they have a pool and just go do like a pool day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just stay out there for the day and then take the Amtrak home the next day. and not do the whole St. Louis. I mean, we didn't even go to the Arch this time. So.
No, but we saw it. You saw it wherever you went.
Yeah, we saw it, but we didn't
loomed over St. Louis like a
walk by it.
Bad hemorrhoid.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of something weird to have loom over. Of course it's going to loom over. The fucking thing is massive.
Any hoodles, go see some live music.
Yes, definitely check out live music when you can.
Check out new venues.
Who knows when you'll be able to see them. Like, it took us 2 years to see Trivium again, and that was far too long. So go check out live music. As you said, new venues.
Yes.
So many good venues out there. And yeah, just experience the community. Talk to people when you're there. Don't be an introvert like me. So many really cool people out there and great fucking stories. So go meet your fellow fucking music heads, your community. Spend some time out there, see some music, and we'll catch you at the next show.
Bye.